I move that this Council, 1, applauds the vision and mission of the Southern Ocean Discovery Centre proponents to create a world-class marine education and tourism hub, inspiring South Australians and visitors to appreciate, protect and sustain the rich coastal and marine environments of the Great Southern Reef. 2, acknowledges the support for the proposed Southern Ocean Discovery Centre to be built at Warrawayinga Tennyson Dunes Conservation Reserve. And 3, notes that South Australia is the only state to not have a publicly accessible marine centre of this nature, despite the fine but physically constrained work of the Marine Discovery Centre. And 4, commends the proposal of the proponents of the Southern Ocean Discovery Centre to the Senate Environment and Communications References Committee into Algal Blooms in South Australia, and requests the President communicate the passage of this motion to the Chair rather than presiding member of that inquiry. For those following at home, it is a very minor clerical correction of the Chair rather than the presiding members.
Seconded. The Honourable Franks.
Thank you, Mr President. It's a great pleasure to bring this motion before this Council today, and I note the willingness of members to engage in what is a reasonably rapid debate in terms of the introduction and passage, hopefully, of this motion today. Just over a year ago, I had the absolute pleasure of visiting the Marine Discovery Centre, and I know that many members of this Council and of this Parliament have had that same pleasure. And I was given a guided tour there by Carmen Bishop, the Centre's director. The Marine Discovery Centre was established in 1997 and had been a beacon of marine education in our state, welcoming some 8,000 eager learners each year. During my visit, I was able to witness the centre in action as a group of OSH students who were on their school holidays got to experience all the education and fun the team at that centre provide. I was delighted to see these children learning not only about our environment and the role that they can play in protecting our marine ecosystems, but also the unique marine life that populates our waters. Carmen and her team embody the passion and love of our marine ecosystems that drives that centre's operation, and they do an absolutely phenomenal job of educating children and young people about our remarkable Great Southern Reef. It was a joy to witness the children on that day that I visited, smiling and enjoying themselves while learning about our state's incredible biodiversity and marine life. However, there are challenges facing the centre, and indeed that current space is limited to some 10,000 visitors a year. In fact, that accounts for less than 4% of all students in our state of South Australia and leaves very little, if any, room for the wider public or for tourism. The current facility simply cannot accommodate the buses that would be needed for visiting those schools or for visiting schools or tour groups, and the current location of the centre, which is on school grounds at the Star of the Sea School, limits the ability for the general public to even engage and be able to access the centre. That is why they have for some time debated the need to lift the vision higher and broader, and that is what leads to this motion today. Indeed, it is for all those reasons that a proposal has come together and proponents have come together to build a new state-of-the-art, purpose-built home, the Southern Ocean Discovery Centre. That centre would allow for the wider public, for more school students, and for the connections so evident now with the challenges that we face with the algal bloom of our scientific and citizen science community to come together. There is, of course, also a significant tourism opportunity in having a Southern Ocean Discovery Centre. And indeed, South Australia is actually, and I was really quite surprised to learn this, South Australia is currently the only Australian state or territory without a dedicated marine education facility that is publicly accessible. Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, they all have a sea life aquarium. WA has the Bustleton Jetty. Tasmania has Seahorse World. And even the NT and the ACT each have a facility. If you look around the map of the nations, in Cairns you've got an aquarium, in Townsville you've got the Great Barrier Reef Aquarium, in the Sunshine Coast you've got Visit Sea Life, and in WA you've got also a Ningaloo Reef Centre. In fact, having grown up in Sydney, I was quite surprised to learn that the delights that I'd had of my childhood of visiting the then Manly Aquarium, almost any opportunity I got actually at one point, or indeed what you have now in Sydney with the Sydney Aquarium, is not one that is available to children in such a broad scale here in South Australia, and certainly not one that's available to the public. And I've got to say, I don't know about other members of this place, but I love to go to an aquarium. I love the marine ecology. It's incredibly interesting. And it is something in South Australia. We have the Great Southern Reef here, and we have unique species here, and we celebrate and protect our biodiversity, but we don't have a showcase for it. And there are so many reasons why we really should. And that is what brings me to this motion today. We know that the Southern Ocean Discovery Centre could be and should be a world-class marine education, research and tourism hub here in South Australia. And it would also assist us in addressing the national challenges in public health, in environmental literacy and coastal resilience that we so need now more than ever. It matters now, as we really well know, because we are facing a current environmental crisis. We have been for some time. In fact, the scientists have been telling us what is happening now is coming for some time. It's just extraordinary that when they say it's now here, that we haven't quite listened. South Australia, of course, is experiencing a persistent, large-scale, harmful algal bloom with significant ecological, economic and public health impacts. And the community urgently needs long-term trusted sources of science-based information to counter misinformation, aid in recovery efforts and restore public confidence in using the coast and purchasing local seafood sustainably, just to name a few. Indeed, there's a public health and literacy gap, and some 10% of the children visiting the current Marine Discovery Centre have actually never even been to the beach before. Many have never seen or entered the ocean or understand ocean currents. This disconnect increases risks in coastal safety, reduces community resilience, and weakens our environmental stewardship. There is an argument here of national equity, and indeed, as I mentioned, Mr. President, every other state and territory has at least one dedicated marine or ocean discovery hub that is publicly accessible. Some have several. South Australia has none. That is despite the fact that we are home to the Great Southern Reef, one of the most biodiverse marine ecosystems on our planet. Indeed, of course, it's not just an ecological argument here. That Great Southern Reef is an economic powerhouse. Commercial fishing, carbon sequestration, nutrient cycling, recreational fishing, diving and snorkelling and other recreational activities. Utterly, not just invaluable, but indeed in the many, many hundreds and thousands of millions of dollars. But the existence value also in itself is extraordinary. The Albanese government recently committed $100 million to the Great Barrier Reef's Townsville Discovery Centre, and so there is a precedent here that I hope that the federal government will take up for South Australia. The Southern Ocean Discovery Centre offers a comparable opportunity for that Albanese government to ensure we have a national investment here in South Australia to show not just commitment, but indeed to strengthen what could be and should be a nationally significant hub that offers a vibrant, inclusive space where students can learn, where families can explore, and young people can develop a lifelong connection to the ocean, encourage active lifestyles and coastal safety, and help disconnect children, of course, from devices and reconnect them to nature, improving our mental health, our resilience, and, of course, our environmental stewardship. The Marine Discovery Centre and the team there have a proven track record and a strong foundation from which to work, and indeed were previously the recipients of some international recognition, receiving a UNESCO award for environmental education. And they are currently the state's only coastal marine and coastal education facility for school students, and indeed have won so many awards that we know that should they be given the opportunity, they could really make this happen. The proposal that we have before us in this motion takes the threat of the harmful algal bloom and sees it as an opportunity, because currently there is a Senate inquiry, as we well know, into the harmful algal bloom here in South Australia, and a committee looking at all of the options, all of the ways that we can not just respond to this crisis, but that we can create resilience and strengthen ourselves for the future. So this is an opportunity here for this council to come together, cross-party, to show our support for what is, I believe, an incredibly inspirational proposal by quite expert people, and not just Carmen Bishop there, but for anyone, and I think all of us have probably met the not only erudite but exuberant Professor Chris Daniels, to be inspired and to present real solutions moving to into the future as we address what is quite a significant environmental challenge. Indeed, Mr. President, this weekend we celebrate yet another Tennyson Dunes Open Day. And down there, and I know the Honourable Ian Hunter had quite a bit to do with the creation of that very special place in our state. And that is the place that this team has identified, and with the support of the local council, the Charles Sturt Council, has identified in the car park there would be the perfect location for the Southern Ocean Discovery Centre. So it will be wonderful this weekend to celebrate yet another wonderful Tennyson Dunes Open Day, and for those members who have been, you'll know it's a really special experience to go and do the talks and the tours and see the local community that come together, not to just preserve that environment and protect it and nurture and nourish it, but right across the board of the ecological movement to work together for a better planet for us all. It would be a wonderful way to celebrate that Tennyson Dunes Open Day for this council to have come together and to have urged the Federal Senate Committee, and in turn the federal members of parliament, which we know are often more where the purse strings are than in a state parliament, to take a really serious look at an investment in a Southern Ocean Discovery Centre for South Australia, because it would be a wonderful institution to create more access to, whether it's our school students or our community or our tourists, but also a way of really, really coming together and challenging the misinformation and providing a base for all across our community, scientists and non-scientists alike, to combat the serious challenge of the harmful algal bloom, and no doubt many more challenges to come, and turn those challenges into a real opportunity and create optimism. And so with that optimistic end, I look forward to the contributions of other members and to hopefully being able, Mr. President, have you write to the chair of the Senate Algal Bloom in South Australia Committee sometime soon and announce that this has happened to the Tennyson Dunes Open Day on the weekend.